Hey everyone, Angry Spork. I'm going to try and keep this short, and I know that's kind of a problem for me because this is like the 7th time I've tried to get this out. Pardon the lighting because I'm at a different angle. My computer is acting up, so taking issue will be taking hiatus for a while. A lot of it is my fault. I procrastinated on getting started on the new season, and you want to know what's funny? The problems with the computer have been going on for a while. I've just been hesitant to take it in because I didn't want to lose it for a month, like a couple of years ago, which I think was more than a month, probably like a month and a half. And I got the first episode of the season, all recorded. There's even another thing, a guest show. If you know who Bob Show is, spelled Shaux, I think, or EAUX. You'll know what a guest show is. I plan to submit to that. I got that recorded. I needed to do some other stuff. I needed to compile stuff, but nope, my computer decided it didn't want to work anymore. So I'm not in a position to put together any episodes. And depending on how this week goes, I might have to take it in somewhere, which is, again, what I wanted to avoid. I thought I could find a better way to deal with this, but it's not looking like that's going to happen. There are some questions I need answered before I go forward. And if I do have to take it in, at least I can do some scripting, some reading, some recording, but I'm not going to be able to put anything together. I do have I have an old laptop. So old it still has Windows XP. And conceivably I could try putting my video editing software on that machine, but I don't know if it's going to be compatible. If it is, then I might be able to upload sooner than I thought. But again, gonna have to see how this week goes. And I'm a little extra disappointed because I had something planned for the week of January 26th. If you remember who my favorite Batgirl is, that date is kind of important. And I had a friend of mine, I commissioned a friend of mine a piece of art for a title card for that episode. And I'm kind of bummed that I haven't told her yet, but I'm kind of bummed that I have to wait on putting that together. So yeah, that's the state of this channel right now. Jumping to a different topic, I saw the Fathom Events double feature of Death of Superman and Reign of the Supermen. And again, I'll keep this short. Overall, I liked it. I typically try to avoid these Fathom events. Well, I don't try to avoid them. I just wish they weren't so pricey. But it's technically a double feature, and they start, instead of like doing like two night events where it's like both nights it's like at 7 p.m. or something. Like the one I saw was 12:55. So tickets were cheaper. And it was technically two movies, so it was kind of like the $5 Tuesdays they got. So, it worked out fine. Anyway, both movies were pretty good, better than I was kind of expecting. Because it's still even though it's a pre-Flashpoint story, it's still set in this New 52-esque world. And ever since they decided to focus on adapting New 52 stories for the animated features, I basically avoided the DC direct-to-videos. Before, I would get I got almost all of them. I didn't get Superman Doomsday because I thought it was just kind of meh. But, Wonder Woman, the Green Lantern ones, the several about Batman, I picked those up. But since the New 52 switch, I've gotten them less and less. And boy, do I hate that New 52 Superman suit. I just absolutely hate it. It looks like a grown man wanted a child's onesie. Just awful. people complain about the trunks. The trunks look good. The trunks add balance. Anyway. I thought there were some characterization issues with Luthor. He acted a bit wormier, a bit whinier than I'm used to. They seemed to try and make him a bit Trumpish, at least when they unfurled a banner saying, "Make Metropolis safe again." And he tried to basically say that he didn't lie when he wasn't exactly being truthful about something. Like, well, technically I didn't say he wasn't a clone, or something along those lines. And I don't have any love for the Mango Antichrist either. But not every single writer, no matter how good they are at drama, no matter how good they are at action, is effective at that kind of satire or parody. Many times, like during Supergirl Season 2, it comes off forced, unfunny, even if you don't like the guy, and kind of takes you out of the moment. So yeah, just maybe leave it to Stephen Colbert, okay? Just leave it to Colbert. The Green Lantern, played by Nathan Fillion. I like Nathan Fillion, but for some reason I think they were going for that kind of cool jerk snarker dude that's really arrogant and not really likable, but we're supposed to like him because he cracks a few funny jokes every now and again. And yeah, his costume's still stupid too. But you know, it's not that what he said wasn't necessarily funny. It's just, I don't know. And it's not like he did a terrible job throughout. It's like there were just moments I didn't really care for it. Everyone else, all the other actors, all the other characterizations were fine enough. Weird thing though, Lois is talking with Wonder Woman, who's in civilian clothes. She wants to know what the Justice League thinks of these new Supermen. And she's like, You didn't come here to talk about our shared grief? And she's like, no. And Wonder Woman's all relieved, like, oh, I don't do that touchy-feely stuff. And she talks about how she kind of finds the Eradicator attractive because he's brutal. I'm like, okay, so this Wonder Woman's insane. Good to know. I mean, I get they want to try this whole strong woman warrior type, but maybe that's not the best way to go about it, because it just kind of seems psycho. Okay, I'm gonna say during Azarella's run during the New 52, I liked when Wonder Woman said she loved everyone, she cares about everyone. She's supposed to be the emissary of peace, but no, here she is saying she's got the hots for the Super Terminator. Yeah. But more or less, the stories were done very well. They adapted well, and they did integrate certain new twists that were also well done. The one thing, Superman's fighting Doomsday, and Doomsday can be brutal. I mean, he grabs someone, you see blood splatter, and you got a little too bloody for my taste, but you know, if someone gave me the two movies as a present or something, I wouldn't turn my nose up. Because, again, they were good. But Doomsday, Superman, their fight takes them to a bridge. People are trying to get out of the city, but, you know, they start evacuating the cars when the fight comes to them. And this mother is running with her child. Her child drops his little Game Boy thing, and he goes after it. We've seen this before, and it's like, part of me is like, this kid should have a survival instinct. I know kids are attached to their toys, and he seems about young enough where he's going to prioritize, I need my toy if I'm going to live. But at the same time, it still feels like it's a kind of contrite and not overly realistic. And you know the kid's not going to die. You know Superman's going to save him, but you're glad when he does. And Superman's holding back this big thing of debris that was about to crush the kid. And he's smiling, hands the kid his game, and he says, everything's going to be okay. Go back to your mom. And kid walks off briefly, runs back, hugs Superman. Superman's a little surprised, and then kid runs back to his mom. That is one thing that helps the impact of when Superman dies. Not the one thing of many before it actually happens. See, this movie, Death of Superman, it establishes a world where not only do they show what kind of person Superman is as a hero, they show that the other people in the world know it. And I came in just as like Bibbo was getting a picture taken I missed like a couple minutes at the beginning, and Jimmy Olsen's taking a picture of Superman and Bibbo, and Superman's approachable. He's kind. He waves to people. He says hello. How you doing? He's like, that's the kind of guy Superman is. And they show that. They show that very effectively. And when he dies, you understand why everyone is sad, because Superman meant something to everyone. You see the kid that he had just saved 5 minutes earlier. He's crying like everyone else. In this music, this somber music plays that helps get that across. And Bibbo Bibowski said, there's this montage of, Lois and the Kents comforting each other and other people and their reactions to Superman's passing. Bibbo is reciting a Hail Mary, wondering why a guy like Superman, who was so kind, is gone, but a schmuck like Bibbo is still around. I'm not crying. You're crying! And it's all powerful, and it made me feel something. Which is more than I can say for when they attempted it in Batman v Superman. Because that is a world that decided everyone sucks. Everyone is cynical. Everyone is suspicious. Everyone is, not a great person. And even the people who are good people, maybe everyone is depressed and cynical and terrible, or some combination thereof. And so it makes it all the more baffling why people would build a statue to Superman if they hated him so much. Because, sure, in that world there are people who maybe are okay with Superman, but they never got the spotlight. And so this little animated feature, not even 90 minutes long, manages to accomplish what a big budget film failed to do. Emote. So, if you're thinking of catching the Fathom event, if you can afford it, I would say go. Funny thing. After Superman comes back, he's not in his trunks, because I gotta say, I prefer the trunks as me. But he is in his rebirth suit. And I was kind of curious, are they gonna do something like like he's in his stupid suit, and then when he comes back, he's in a different suit to establish how he's changed or something, or it's like it's different now or something. But I guess when this was being made, they were probably maybe they were thinking more the rebirth suit rather than the now that he's back in the trunks in the comics. But I thought that was a nice touch. So yeah, if you don't want to see them at the Fathom events, if you can see them, probably pick them up if you want to rent the movies. They're both pretty good. They complement each other very well, and there's not a whole lot of bad I can say about them. So yeah, take care, and I'll see you when I can see you. Good night.